Guys, welcome to Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. Thanks for tuning in. So let's cover some administration stuff first. Stars and Stripes has reported that it's costing the Pentagon more than $1 billion of taxpayer funding each year. A study of obesity among active duty service members that has been published. Yet that should make no mistake. We've talked about this for years now. Is growing. It's getting worse. It's getting worse in the general public. Mainly due to the foods. Hopefully, the new administration can help clean this stuff up. The stuff that we're eating is heavily processed chemical foods. And the military, man, especially like I know in the Marines, man, the food was garbage. It tasted terrible, was not nutritious whatsoever. And I'm sure, if you're in the military or have been in the military, you can attest to these things as well. So please do so. Now, this is pretty interesting that Fort Benning, Fort Moore they're calling it, but I call it Fort Benning. They're offering a $15,000 reward. Now, Army investigators are still searching for, listen to this, 31 M17 pistols that has disappeared from Fort Benning earlier this year. But the case has grown with additional equipment now being reported missing from the same facility. The CID, Criminal Investigation Division, announced there's a $15,000 reward for information leading to the recovering of the missing pistols, as well as 2 sets of night vision goggles and a thermal weapon sight. The base spokesperson confirmed that the gear is missing. Now, $15,000, that gear is well over that amount. So I don't think they're going to get it back, Anyway, some good news on the horizon. President Trump to remove transgender service members from military on day one. Report, he will reportedly remove transgender service members from military by executive order on day one of his presidency. It's if you recall, Trump actually had a ban on that during his first term. So that will go into effect first thing. So we have some good news coming forward. Now let's talk about bad news. Now, this article by New York Times, this is where the information is coming from. And out of the gate, no, not that one. Is it? Nope. Let me find it. No. Geez, where's it at? Trump vows to end the war could leave Ukraine with few options. Several officials. One question is whether the new administration here will provide security guarantee to prevent Russia from taking more territory. And if you go down into this article, what you'll see here, I highlighted here, it goes, the one gold standard security guarantee that Ukraine wants is invitation to join NATO, but it could not get that under Joe Biden, and an invitation is unlikely during Trump's presidency. So U.S. and European officials are discussing deterrence as possible security guarantee for Ukraine, such as stockpiling a conventional arsenal sufficient to strike a punishing blow if Russia violates a ceasefire. Listen to this. Several officials even suggested that Mr. Biden could return nuclear weapons to Ukraine that were taken from it after the fall of the Soviet Union. That would be an instant and enormous deterrent. That would not be a deterrent. That would be certain World War III proportions. It just would be. I don't even know why we would entertain such a thing. And the thing is, what New York Times, whenever they're posting stuff, usually they're getting stuff from inside information within the Pentagon. That's how it's been. In my experience, any information comes out in New York Times, they're getting that direct from those folks. So I got a video here of Zelensky. He's saying the U.S. cannot force us to sit and listen at a negotiating table. We are an independent country. And just watch what he says here. It's got translation at the bottom. But this man wants war escalation. Check it out.
Україна. Вона повинна бути сильною для будь-якої дипломатії. Хочу ще раз це підкреслити.
Але США не лише потенційний посередник в переговорах. Це країна, яка надає величезні обсяги допомоги Україні і яка може спонукати нас до того, щоб ми сіли за стіл переговорів. Який меседж ви отримали від Дональда Трампа під час тих контактів, які у вас з ним були? Тобто як він каже? Він каже, я стану президентом і сідайте за стіл переговорів. Як це виглядає?
Я думаю, що він так не каже.
Did you see how snarky he was when he was asked that question. This man wants escalation.
Ми незалежна Україна, і мені здається, в час цієї війни наш народ, і я особисто в перемовинах зі Сполученими Штатами Америки і з Трампом, і з Байденом, і з іншими європейськими лідерами довели, що з нами риторика «сідай і слухай» не працюючи. І це не через те, що ми такі, а через те, що так ми повинні відноситись в принципі до будь-якої країни, будь-якого народу, будь-якого лідера. Поважати. Це, в принципі, рівність, одна з цих цінностей, за які ми боремося сьогодні.
He was saying the rhetoric of sitting that they have not done that yet. Sorry, I hit the mic. There has been no sitting. This man is escalated. As soon as Biden gave him the opportunity to send missiles from Ukraine into Russia, he did it. See, like this article here, Biden finally shows backbone in the face of Putin's threats. Now, this has become a proverbial staring contest, is what we have. And you have Russia posturing, you have America posturing by way of Ukraine. It is absolutely not good, right? Sorry, I'm throwing up these because I'm trying to get to the one. Here we go. So the next one, huge, Kim Jong-un. Now North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has accused the U.S. of contributing to increasing global tensions that could escalate the most destructive thermonuclear war. And multiple media outlets are reporting this. North Korea warns U.S. of thermonuclear war. We know that Korea and Russia has grown significant ties, and even so much so I read this evening that China is getting a little uneasy about their relationship because the potential escalation of global conflict. Now, Kim Jong-un said that the Korean Peninsula has never been at a greater risk for a nuclear war, and prior negotiations with Washington has only made it clear that U.S. aggressive and hostile policy toward North Korea. He goes on to say the Korean Peninsula has never been under such a critical situation as the present, in which there's a growing likelihood of a most destructive thermonuclear war breaking out amid the acutely dangerous confrontation between the belligerents, he calls us. Now, the U.S. spoke out about the deployment of North Korean troops to Russia. And it says, we condemn in the strongest possible terms the increasing military cooperation between North Korea and Russia, including their export and Russia's unlawful procurement of ballistic missiles and breach of multiple UN Security Council resolutions, as well as Russia's use of their missiles and munitions against Ukraine. They said this on as a statement on the State Department website. Now, the thing is that we're doing identically the same thing. So I don't understand why we're saying they're breaking some sort of treaty or what have you, because we are doing the exact same thing, if not worse. Now, Kim has also said that he wants North Korea to develop its own strategic deterrence to combat the U.S., specifically the U.S. nuclear arsenal, and emphasize the need of further modernize and fortify the strategic missile bases. Now, Trump said that he would mend the relationship again with North Korea because he did previously. He went and met with Kim Jong-un. They hung out. He walked into North Korea. They seem to have developed a great relationship. Biden has now essentially destroyed that completely because Kim Jong-un has made statements. He doesn't care who won the election, that he will not, irregardless, he will not plan to make amends with the U.S. or Washington. So that has been completely destroyed under the Biden-Harris administration. Now, we also have, since the attacks within Russia, the threat of cyber attacks. So Russia's ready to wage cyber war on UK, minister says. But it's not only the United Kingdom, it's also other allies, including the U.S. Russia's Unit 29155, which is the government has that carries out a number of attacks in UK, Europe, and so on are apparently have the possibility of conducting cyber attacks in response. Now, the reason I think they would go that route instead of a nuclear war per se out of the gate is because it's increasing the levels of aggression. And we know that our cyber community is compromised by the numerous attacks we've had, and our infrastructure is very weak. So it's dangerous, especially to happen right around, we're talking in Trump inauguration, or could it be even a false flag? I'm just throwing it out there. Potentially, anything could happen. You know, just to increase the aggression amongst everyone previous to inauguration day. If you recall, 2 weeks ago, I did a video talking about one of Trump's main men said that we're not in the clear until after inauguration, right? Because anything could transpire between now and then. The other thing is I saw this, I hadn't seen anybody talking about this, is that mystery drones have been seen over 3 U.S. air bases in UK. A number of unidentified drones have been spotted over 3 air bases in Britain. The U.S. Air Force has confirmed the incidents which occurred between Wednesday and Friday. Now, they say were small unmanned aerial systems spotted over RAF Lakenheath and RAF Mildenhall in Suffolk and neighboring county in Norfolk. The U.S. Air Force, which uses the basis, said it was unclear at this stage whether the drones were to be considered hostile. It also declined to comment on whether any defense mechanisms were used, but it said that it retained the right to protect the installation. So I'm sure, man, these folks are playing with fire. The thing is that if it were me, if I were Joe Biden, I would let this thing fizzle the freak out. Trump come in, make a negotiation, shut everything down. But you heard Zelensky, he does not want to negotiate. He doesn't want to sit and listen, he says. He said he's beyond that. So what does that mean? Trump said he's cutting off funding immediately. So it would seem like the only way to continue funding is to get U.S. directly involved. And that's just my opinion. If they want to continue continue funneling money, they would try to get U.S. directly involved. And that's what it's starting to look like. Why would we increase aggression in a transition period? It just doesn't make sense. Even the leftists, people like Michael Moore rips Joe Biden for going out in a blaze of horror, pushing us right into World War III. That's his direct quote. That's something he said. And that dude is an extreme leftist. So it's not looking good. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people want this stuff to happen overnight. Look, I don't want a freaking nuclear war. I don't want a World War III, by no means. But anyone who's served in the military, who has paid attention to how wars start, they're not like at a flip of a switch. This is the same type of escalation that happens when it goes kinetic, right? You heard for a long time before Russia even went into Ukraine. That junk was going on. I kept saying in those videos back a few years ago, it's almost like America's wanting Russia to do this. Like they're pushing it. And you see where we are today, man. It's wild. But pretty much, I don't see a de-escalation at this point. It's only increasing. And, you know, I've seen some videos tonight of some attacks, but I could not verify because it was like just people with cell phones. I don't know exactly what I was looking at. They said it was specific attacks, but I don't want to put that information out because I'm not exactly sure. But it's definitely continuing to heat up. And we predicted this. I predicted this. A lot of people predicted this is how it would go coming into inauguration. Anyway, guys, I do appreciate you hanging out with me. Let me holler at my guy here, Teddy. Thanks, Teddy. Deep State is itching for World War III. Man, it definitely looks like they are. Thank you, Teddy. It looks like they are. Guys, I do appreciate you hanging out with me. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, share the video, text the video to your friends. Remember to stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous.